Background replacement in GIMP. Replacing the background is not that difficult to do. On the first image, after having cropped out the people, let's next take it up to 200% view. You can see it's a little bit fuzzy. That's okay for what we're doing. Now for this one, we're going to use the fuzzy select tool in Photoshop. It's called the magic wand. We're just going to come down here, click in the white area, and you can see it's done a pretty good job of selecting it. Over here is the threshold tool, and this decides how much or what range of colors are going to be selected. Now if we move this all the way up to here and select, you can see that it has selected quite a bit. If we move it down, it selects less. Take it lower, and right there at about 50 is pretty good for our purposes on this particular image. Now the slider here works in three different ways. If you put the cursor at the top, click and drag, that's kind of a coarse adjustment. If you come down here to the lower half, you can see that it takes an exaggerated amount of cursor movement to change it. And you can also come here to the up and down section. So with it set to approximately 50, select the area. Now I'm going to come up here to the color. I'm going to select first something in the blue range on the scale. Come over here, select a light blue, choose OK. Next I'm going to choose the bucket tool, come over here, click in the white area, and it's all replaced. Now if I come over here, you can see the no symbol comes up, and that's to indicate that I'm in an area that cannot work because it's outside of the selection. Finally, unselect it. Let's take it back to its full size, and that looks pretty good. Now the images from the second group will not be quite as simple because the background is not a solid color. Once again, let's enlarge it a bit so we can get a little better view. Instead of using the fuzzy select tool like we did last time, we're going to use the scissors select. In Photoshop, the similar tool is called the magnetic wand. I'm going to select an area to start, in this case down here. Click and notice it leaves a white dot. Second click, it made a line between the two dots. It's not straight. The way it works is it's looking for a difference in color between one side of the line and the other. And I'm going to work my way around the hair. Notice in some areas it's doing better than others. Don't worry about it. Now I'm going to work my way up the edge of the picture. That was a really bad one. And as I come down here, notice that the cursor changes shape slightly to two overlapping circles. That indicates that this is going to close the selection. Now I can make some adjustments, like over here. I'm going to click on the line, pull it in just a little bit. Let me pull that back out. Here I'm going to pull it out just a bit. This time I'm clicking on that circle to pull it up, and right here down a little bit. And I'm not going to be too fussy about it, even with this big gap here. Now once I move inside, notice that the cursor changes to a plus sign. When I click inside, that makes the selection. Next I'm going to come over to the bucket tool. And It's maintained the same color from the other one, and I'm going to click inside of it now. Notice it didn't do the whole area. That's because it's over here set to fill similar colors. So if I choose like this dark color here, it'll choose just that dark color. Over here on the right is the history doc, and it records everything that I've done. Now, if I don't like something, I can go back to an earlier state by clicking on it all the way to the last save. So I'm just going to come back here to the scissors. I'm going to change this to fill whole selection. Click inside of it, and that's filled it in pretty well. Next, I'm going to come back up here, select none, and I'm going to go back and catch these other areas. What happened? I had fill whole selection chosen. So I'm going to come back here, undo the last step, and I'm actually this time going to go to the brush. This adjusts the size of the brush. You can see how big it is there. If I drag it up, notice it gets large very quickly. For our purposes, something in the 20 range is going to be sufficient. And I'm going to touch up the edges here. And you can still see some white areas here, which I'm going to want to get rid of. I'm going to enlarge it one more time. I'm going to come back to the bucket tool and choose fill similar colors. You remember what happened when I had fill whole selection. So I'm going to come down here and start clicking on some of these light areas here. And if we take it back down to 100%, that looks pretty reasonable for our purposes today.